Another late show done. Count it! Good evening, everyone. At a concert, Bruce Springsteen walked right past Chris Christie's outstretched hand and totally ignored him. I don't know what Springsteen's excuse will be, but we can rule out I didn't see him. True, he's hard to miss, said a local asteroid. Chrissy did finally get a photo with Springsteen, but only because Bruce thought he was posing with Rosie O'Donnell. The WNBA is being criticized for promoting a game and conspicuously ignoring star white player Caitlin Clark. Clark is currently leading the league in points, assists, and not yelling at the screen during a movie.
Oh, racist would say.
Terrible. Dodgers closer Edwin Diaz has been allegedly linked to an illegal cockfighting ring. He was turned in after one man was furious that only roosters were involved. Thank you. U.S. and Nigerian forces teamed up to kill an ISIS leader hiding in Africa. The U.S. provided Navy SEALs, spy satellites, and Predator drones, while Nigeria provided a letter from a prince offering to share $40 million. A McDonald's employee will face charges for putting fries in her mouth before serving them to a customer. On the bright side, it's the first time McDonald's fries were actually served warm. A California judge has banned the Cars for Kids jingle after ruling that the charity misled donors. True, our investigative reporter found out that people who donated a car did, in fact, not get a kid. Finally, a clinic in New Jersey is performing penile enlargement surgery by using fat cells from dead people, which, in time, might be the only way Joy Behar can get a man hard. That was funny. So, in all the hoopla over the China summit last week, the trade deals, screaming Chinese kids, the Temple of Heaven, otherwise known as Bill Hemmer's hotel room, we missed a perfect moment caught on film. A Democrat upset he's not being treated like a Democrat, but instead like everyone else. Is this the start of your interview with Xavier Becerra?
This is the start of our interview with Xavier Becerra in Highland Park.
By the way, this is a profile piece. This is not a gotcha piece, right?
Well, look, I think these questions are fair. It's in order to learn about you as a candidate.
So long as it's about the profile.
I don't know how you define profile, but I'd like to begin the interview.
The way I describe profile is you talk about all the things that I've done, things I want to do, and along with some tough questions. But not only tough questions.
Holy crap. They barely turned the cameras on, and this guy's sweating like they put icy hot in his undies. That's a sign of competence, getting floored by tough questions like, are you ready to start the interview? They ask his name, and he's ready to plead the fifth. But that's Xavier, Biden's HHS secretary. You might know him by his street name, Dumbass. And What's amazing, this is the guy favored to win the California governor's race. With Newsom is a lame duck, and Katie Porter looks like she eats live ducks. This guy is currently polling neck and neck with Republican candidate Steve Hilton. But it's no surprise Xavier expects to get pampered like Joe during a diaper change. He was one of Biden's lackeys, and the media never asked him anything remotely challenging. It was never, how will you fix homelessness? Just, what's your favorite ice cream? Biden's minions got glossy profiles, softball interviews, all while the right got savaged on a routine basis, which led the Dems down very ugly roads. Becerra backed COVID vaccine mandates, trans policies in healthcare and schools. As HHS secretary, his department lost track of 85,000 unaccompanied migrant children. 85,000. I hope at least the Dems registered them to vote before they disappeared. Here's Becerra being confronted with that reality.
During your time as HHS secretary, a New York Times investigation found the health department couldn't find some 85,000 children it had released.
That's not accurate. What you just read is not accurate. First, that's what I'll say, because it was never the case that we could not find kids. You're essentially, I don't know if you got those talking points from Donald Trump.
It's from a New York Times article.
That's not what the New York Times article said. The New York Times said that individuals, the children and their sponsors, did not respond to calls. They didn't say we couldn't find kids.
Wow. But I guess, he didn't see that coming because he felt he never had to see anything coming. He's called the most incompetent member of Sleepy Joe's administration, which included hordes of frauds, fools, and the worst ever ladies' night. Biden's own staff called him absent. And that's Biden's staff. That's like being called a moron by Forrest Gump. But Becerra's arrogance arises from one thing. He belongs to a party that never hears the word no. Or they hear it, but, they don't care. They're just like those Columbia students who took over a building, smashed doors, then they're shocked when they're hauled to jail. How did that happen? Or the Minnesota protesters who surrounded a Turning Point reporter, punched her and shoved her, and then claimed they were the victims after charges were filed. See, if you live a life where no one ever calls you on your BS, it's got to be shocking when you hear it for the first time, even in middle age. After decades of free passes, these people have no idea how to handle life. It's like Karen Bass and Nithya Raman. Spencer Pratt showed up with facts, and they fled the debate stage like their homes were on fire. Becerra's like an out-of-shape, entitled boxer. He thinks he can walk back into the ring after a decade of drugs, whoring, and zero training. Nope. You got to prove that you got it, that you can handle the next danger to the public, wildfires, earthquakes, or the next time Tiger Woods gets behind a wheel. Otherwise, don't act shocked when a simple question knocks you flat on your ass. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's way hotter than someone named Martha has a right to be. Host of the Martha McCallum Show, Martha McCallum. His shows are BYOB, Bring Your Own Boo. Comedian Rich Voss. She went from Right Said Fred to an adjustable bed. Host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. And he's the hall pass for the Real Housewives of the Villages. Former NWA World Champion, host of the Planet Tyrus podcast, Tyrus. Martha, you're the perfect person to ask about this. Have you ever encountered this kind of indignation? It's like they come to you, you're at Fox, they're not used to people asking them any questions. Has this ever happened?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And in the arrogance of the way he sits down, by this point in his career, he seriously should know that the camera is rolling.
Yes.
When you sit down. And then he gives her this arrogant sort of like, okay, little lady?
Yes.
You got it?
Yeah.
It's the okay, little lady that really made my blood boil watching this interview. But I got to say, I give her a lot of credit. She did an excellent job with this. And I love it when he says, like, is this going to be a puff piece or is this going to be what's your definition of profile? And she goes, I'm going to start now, okay?
Yes.
Which I loved. And she did handle every one of these interviews exactly the same way, and she asked them all the same questions, and he's just so vague. I mean, there is nothing going on. When she asked about the 85,000 kids, he's just like, he wants to squabble over like a word. It's like, but there's still, you didn't connect with them.
No, he had a great excuse. They didn't pick up the phone.
Yeah, exactly. We tried to connect with them.
Officer, have you found my missing daughter? Well, we keep calling her. She doesn't pick up.
It's like we kept calling the sweatshop. We're not sure why no one answered.
That's the end of the first 48. It's over. She didn't pick up the phone. Case closed. Rich, do you react like him when people at your shows expect you to be funny?
Here's the thing. Why would you think people are at my shows? First of all, 85,000 missing. If you went to an Easter egg hunt and there was 85,000 eggs, you would find at least 10.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know
yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he looks like he's on one of those cop shows with 2 weeks to retire.
Yeah.
All right. Here's insanity is when you do the same thing over and over and expect different results.
Like being a stand-up comic for 40 years.
Okay. Wow. This is war. So here's the thing. I've given up on California politics. New York politics is bad enough. But then when you listen to California, you're going, they can't be that insane. That Karen Bass says meth addicts need new teeth to get jobs.
Right.
You know what they need to get jobs? Stop doing meth.
Yes.
Okay? It has nothing to do with teeth.
Yes.
I had no teeth and I got work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You know, the great thing about it is he really loved his job at the time.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It's a Monday.
Yes, yes. Oh. So, Kennedy.
I thought about getting rid of my teeth to get more work. They call it a gummer.
How did this happen?
Sorry, I forgot it was Kennedy.
She went there.
You know what she reminds? You know who Becerra kind of reminds me of too? Are like, remember all those nurses who like will post death threats or say they're not going to work on a Trump patient, and then they get fired, and they're going, "Why did you fire me? Because you said this." Like, no one believes that they're actually accountable, and he was like expecting like not to be held accountable.
Well, look where he comes from. Look who his contemporaries are in California. Like, the brightest among them is Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
You've got Eric Fartwell, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, and this, post-operative polyp. And he might be governor of California. I hope he spends more time on the debate stage, because Tom Steyer actually said that very thing in the last governor debate. He said, insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And Steve Hilton, without pausing, goes, then don't vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's true. You know, it's amazing, Tyrus, when we look at all of the people that they put forward, they're always, for some reason, failing up. They never are required to do anything of substance, but they must be doing something, like parroting a line, reciting the words.
He has every right to be upset about that interview. He was furious. Like, he was appointed.
Yes. That's
It's not supposed to. Yeah, they're unqualified.
Yeah.
Completely unqualified.
Yeah, where did he come from?
Exactly. He came from the same dungeon as COVID and Kamala. Like, there's just. And one side, you got sick, and the other side, you got stupid. Let's guess which one he came out of. But this is why you have to get activists out of politics. He doesn't know anything about the job. All he knows is he was there for an interview. He had his little hair done. He got his little shave. And he was supposed to be worshipped by every reporter as they are. Like, you're a hero. And then he could say his name in 5 different Latin phrases. And, oh, he's authentic, and he's this. But not one thing about any of the problems in California at all, because that's not what he's there for. He'll be told what to do. It's like when they are, we see it all the time. Who are they? Whom is appointing this guy?
Yes.
I wouldn't let this guy be in charge of an open window.
Yeah. He'd probably jump. All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.